After 6 years of engineering and metallurgy, King Camp finally figured out a way to change the course of human history and make sharpening a blade an obsolete skill. And in the process, he made his fortune selling disposable razor blades. King Camp's full name? King Camp Gillette. Yeah, like that Gillette. This is one of the earliest examples of planned obsolescence, though it wasn't called that at the time. The idea, however, was the same, that a company can make more money if they just convince people to buy a disposable product instead of fixing or maintaining a quality, durable one. No more blade sharpening. Instead, just chuck that thing into a landfill and get yourself a new one. Today, planned obsolescence reigns supreme in just about every sector of the economy. Electronics, appliances, automobiles, clothes, tools, and of course, personal grooming devices. It's the main reason why big businesses have so much wealth and power, and why the average American has a home full of plastic junk made in China. But it doesn't have to be this way. Know that planned obsolescence is not some illusion dreamt up by old farts kvetching about the good old days. It's not a conspiracy, and it's not even a secret. Planned obsolescence is a well-known, explicit business strategy that was developed over a century ago and has been evolving ever since. Now, there are 3 basic categories of obsolescence in business. What most people think of when they say planned obsolescence is just one type, something known as death date obsolescence, where a product is designed with cheap materials or poor engineering in order to ensure that it dies sooner rather than later. A second type is style obsolescence, where marketing and advertising essentially shame people into getting rid of some out-of-fashion good that still works in order to buy into the newest trend. And then there's technological obsolescence, where a product becomes out of date because it just doesn't work as well as the new thing. Think rotary phones going obsolete because they just aren't as good as a smartphone. I'll elaborate on those 3 categories of planned obsolescence in future videos, but they all work to the same effect. People, or what businesses would call consumers, are encouraged to get rid of products more and more frequently and to buy new ones. That way, people keep coming back and buying the same thing over and over and over again, and the company's profits never stop growing. As you can imagine, this creates a ton of waste as people throw away their old stuff and usually don't recycle it. It also means that people get frustrated using crappier stuff, while the people making the products are having their labor exploited by global companies. And over time, we pay more for all of these new updates than if we would have just bought one quality product and held on to it. But even if it is bad for the consumer and bad for the environment and bad for the workers, still, companies are motivated to design products with planned obsolescence in mind for one very simple reason: profits. What then are we to do about it? If we want workers to be paid a livable wage, if we want to protect our environment for future generations, if we want to use quality products day to day, what do? Because we're not going to convince big businesses to make less profit for our sake. Our whole society has been built on the notion that the economy is the prime indicator of our nation's strength and well-being. And in turn, the economy's health depends on our spending and growth. But we the people have the power to change all this. But first, we have to change our culture, so that instead of valuing the newest and most fashionable and cheapest goods, instead we value self-reliance, tangible skills, and hard work. That's where knife sharpening comes into play. Some people suggest that the solution to planned obsolescence is in policy changes, passing legislation that offers big businesses tax incentives to produce better products, or establishing minimum durability standards or the right to repair. That's all good and fine and would be a great step forward, except we all know that lobbying interests that represent these businesses and their investors will quash any legislation that hurts their bottom line. And in fact, they've been doing just that for decades. It's true that businesses will operate within the law when they're under scrutiny, but they always operate according to the demands of the consumer. And I'm not just talking about boycotts. I'm talking about the actual economic demand. If people don't buy something, a company will quit selling it. But if people want something, companies will start selling it. So if we quit playing into the hands of big business and quit throwing away all of our stuff that could be fixed or maintained, then they'll be forced to change their ways. Not immediately, but eventually. In the meantime, we'll all be developing useful and meaningful skills. It seems to me like we've stopped caring about the things that we use and rely on every day. We've stopped valuing handy skills and durability. A kitchen knife is a perfect example. It seems like everyone I know has a $10 piece of shit knife from God knows what big business with some chintzy plastic handle and terrible steel that dulls and chips. And no one owns a sharpening stone. Though some people do have that equally chintzy and shitty automatic knife sharpener, which is just another product that won't work but will definitely break very soon. But what would happen if we started investing in ourselves instead of in terrible products? What I have here is a global knife. It's not expensive, about 80 bucks, but it is high quality. Anthony Bourdain, a man I love and respect immensely, may his soul rest in peace, recommends this knife in his book Kitchen Confidential, a great read, by the way. And this sharpening stone isn't all that expensive either, but it is a high quality one. Here's the thing I want you to take away from all of this. If you care about being a better citizen, if you care about the environment, if you want to produce less waste and stop supporting big businesses that lobby politicians to pass legislation that helps them but hurts us and our environment, then you need to get yourself a good goddamn knife and learn how to sharpen it. It is so easy. You get a whetstone. You wet the stone with water. And then you take the knife, find the right angle for your blade, and apply light, even pressure in one direction, and then in the other. It takes about 10 minutes to put a really good edge on a reasonably blunt knife. So many products today appeal to laziness and ignorance. But you don't need or want something that promises to sharpen your knife for you. Instead of spending your money on a product that claims to do work for you, why not improve yourself by learning a new and valuable skill that makes you more proficient, better educated, more self-reliant, and a better global citizen? Just ranting about the problems of the world on the internet won't do any good. It won't change anything. We have to start with ourselves. If you don't like the way corporations affect the world, then reduce your reliance on them. Learn more skills. Own better products that last. Take care of them. Buy raw materials and learn how to build the things that you want in your life. Buy something that won't break. And if it ain't broke, maintain it. Thanks for watching.